What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Thor 4, which is also known as Thor Love and Thunder, but to be honest guys, Thor 4 sounds a hell of a lot better. So, San Diego Comic-Con last weekend has revealed lots of alleged plot leaks and alleged revealed and rumoredly revealed reports for the last few days. Like we reported guys, when we spoke about the San Diego Comic-Con verified confirmed information, that as soon as all these movies got released, alleged plot leaks would appear every single where. So we're going to be going over one today. So what is interesting guys about this one is these characters that are allegedly the villains for this movie were floating about before the kind of movie even got confirmed. So what is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Thor. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss the best content there is when it comes to Marvel content. So as we know, Jane Foster will be returning to the MCU. Don't know why, because she was very anti-MCU. Was she offered a chunk of money? Probably. And the MCU fans seem to be lapping this up. They seem to be really excited for a female Thor. But is this really a good thing? We don't know. I don't know. The kind of Natalie Portman, the actress that plays her, is going to have to put a hell of a lot of size on to kind of look impressive, or at least gain some legs. So it's going to be very interesting. Like, she hasn't been seen since Dark World, but Warstu, she was in EndGame. Yes, she was in EndGame, but wasn't really in it. So the names that are being thrown around in this recent report, if you want to call it that, is Enchantress. No, not DC's Enchantress, Marvel's Enchantress. Basically, she's an Asgardian goddess and is immensely powerful and is a magical sorceress on the kind of, I guess you could say, you could compare it to Loki in a way if you want to, but it would make sense that there would be two villains as the alleged report says, because technically there's going to be two Thors. It's going to be very interesting to see how they actually manage the backstory of this. As you know, the MCU always like to change powers, backstory, literally change the mythos from the comics to basically MCU making their own mythos. But it is interesting that it appears that Thor, the male Thor, Chris Hemsworth Thor, is going to have his own villain, and it appears that the female Thor is going to also have her own villain. So Enchantress would be pretty cool, and she's a pretty badass magician, so to speak. That's the only real way you can explain her. So this next one for Thor has been rumored for such a long time. So Gorr, you heard of Gorr? Yeah, Gorr. Pretty badass. Gorr the God Butcherer. So essentially someone who likes to kill gods, a serial killer of gods, an enemy of Thor throughout all the ages. He has been on the crusade for decades, for over 3,000 years. And essentially he wants to kill Thor. Now this would be very interesting. If you don't know who Gorr is, there's some very good comic book YouTubers, Comic Historian, and also Comics Explained. They're very good. They've got some cool videos on comic books, so check them out. They've probably got videos on Gorr. But Gorr's a badass character, badass villain, and it would be very interesting if they were to introduce this character who essentially Gorr witnessed two gods fall to the ground, locked in combat. One god is already dead. However, the other asks Gorr for help. This infuriates Gorr, and he screams, "Where were you when my children were starving? When my wife was screaming for your help? Where were you when we needed our gods?" At this point, the dead god's weapon binds itself to him. In a blind rage, Gorr stabs the injured god to death. Wondering if there are more gods to slaughter, Gorr picks up the weapon and sets off into space on a vendetta against the gods. And that's how he becomes the God Killer. Not to be confused with, obviously, if you play God of War, you know, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, it would be pretty cool to see Gorr go up against Thor and see Enchantress go up against the female version of Thor. So like I said guys, you've got to take this report with a pinch of salt, because literally I've been flooded with fake plot leaks. Everything since San Diego Comic-Con, my DMs on Instagram has been blowing up, point where I've had to stop, basically close my DMs, so you can only like DM me probably if I follow you, because it's been blowing up. Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Yeah, I mean, it could be true. I mean, the plot leak came out saying that Thor 4 was going to get his own movie. Now it would be very interesting, as we know, thanks to James Gunn, that obviously Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to be set after the Thor movie comes out. As we know, chronological from a date point of view, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will not be coming out till at least Phase 5. Now, this is very interesting because we've got a lot of cool movies, but Thor is an actual gimme of a stellar of a movie. But I don't really think that Natalie Portman, Jane Foster, is here to stick around for a long time. So obviously in the comics, obviously Jane Foster is also female Thor, and she kind of gained her powers through getting cancer. Now, we do know that in, obviously, Dark World, Jane Foster kind of got the ether inside her, etc. We don't want to go through that painful movie again. But essentially, what could happen was they're going to have to explain how she gained her powers in this universe, so to speak, because when we last seen Jane Foster, obviously, she technically kind of dumped Thor. So how is she going to become from dumping Thor to kind of being with Thor in some kind of thing, I guess you could say? It's going to be very interesting how they explain how does Jane Foster get to become worthy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's kind of interesting. So obviously in the comics, she is diagnosed with breast cancer. She took up the mantle of Thor when he was no longer deemed worthy, eventually became the new Valkyrie. So it's going to be very interesting. As we know, Valkyrie's going to be in this movie. So Valkyrie's going to be looking for her queen. Is there going to be some love triangle between Thor, the Valkyrie, and Jane Foster, female Thor? It's going to be very interesting. I am really looking forward to this movie if it's done correct. Obviously, Gorr is a very good villain. Now, I've also seen some other villains' names thrown around because, as we know, the Fantastic Four is coming, and some people are allegedly saying that Galactus is going to be the villain for Thor 4, which kind of makes no sense, guys. Now, you guys know how I roll on this channel. I'm not one of these generic, boring channels that kind of have a manuscript and they kind of go, and on today's video, guys, we're going to talk about... No, guys, we freestyle this. So that is why my videos are kind of, they're very different to any other YouTubers kind of videos or any other creators, so to speak, because I freestyle my videos. I have general notes. So I'm going to let you guys in how to do the videos. I have general notes of what I want to talk about, and I freestyle because I feel like it's much better than that. I'm not a TV show here. I'm just a dude that kind of talks about what is going on, theories, reviews, and that kind of stuff. So it is going to be very interesting future for Marvel. Is female Thor a one-off? Because obviously Jane Foster, who is played by Natalie Portman, do you really think they've locked her into like 5 movies? No, I don't really think she has, but it would be interesting to see if kind of Chris Hemsworth Thor did leave after this movie, to see how would a female Thor movie do without Chris Hemsworth, because you already know Thor 4 is going to be a stellar hit just because Chris Hemsworth's in it. He's an absolute beast. Now, it is interesting that the release date is obviously 2021, which does correlate with the recent rumors that Chris Hemsworth is going to be having 1 year out of Hollywood before he works on anything again. And it's also interesting that they basically implied that Taika Waititi is going to be the director, confirmed, verified. Yeah, it's confirmed. But they didn't actually insinuate that the whole script was already written. I mean, generally what happens is Marvel takes 6 months to a year to edit it. So they would be filming the movie towards the end of next year, which would imply to me that the storyline is not 100% nailed. Obviously, Marvel always have a skeleton case for everything they're going to make. So I don't even think the storyline is completely there. They just know female Thor, Valkyrie's the queen of Asgard, of New Asgard now, because obviously we know how EndGame ended. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see, do they show Thor being with the Guardians, because they kind of have to show that, or else it wouldn't really make any sense. But it's one of the movies I'm really looking forward to in Phase 4. I'm really looking forward to Black Widow, The Eternals, Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, which is ironically the last one. But I've got a question for you, my viewers, all 5 of you. Can they do a Thor movie without Loki? Because I've also heard rumors that Loki, Tom Hiddleston, will be in this show. Now, people can go, Warstu, this is not right. You're making stuff. But literally, guys, they only announced a movie Saturday, and already there is multiple websites reporting the villain to villain. Yet you're going to question if Loki's going to be in this movie. Now, I 100% think Loki is going to be in this movie in some capacity. As we know, the Loki show is going to follow where he went in EndGame. Where did he vanish? Now, obviously, we do know the slate for Phase 4 and kind of Phase 5. So we know that Loki's streaming show will be coming out the same year as this movie. allegedly. So does this mean that by the end of the first season of the Loki TV show, follow me guys, that he's going to appear and Thor is going to know that Loki isn't dead? Now that would be interesting. So this comes out spring 2021 Loki, then November 2021, the same year, the Thor movie comes out, interesting enough. But I am going to put it out there that Loki is revealed to be in Thor 4 because you can't do a movie. You cannot do a movie without Loki. Even if Loki is only in it in an astral projection or a hologram or some illusion, as we do know, the alleged Enchantress, she's a magician, so she could fire an illusion. She could pretend to be Loki. She could pretend to be anyone. It's going to be a very interesting movie, even if this alleged rumor isn't true. So guys, let me know down below, who would you love to be the villain for Thor 4? And is Loki going to show up in Thor 4? Because if he's not, it's going to be a massive shame. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Join me on that quest to hit 100,000 subscribers. That would be freaking awesome. The latest giveaway prize is for EndGame Blu-ray. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel and let me know down below, why did you subscribe to me? Because if you didn't subscribe to me, you can't enter the competition. No, I'm only joking. But let me know down, guys. I really want constructive feedback, constructive criticism. I'm really trying to regrow the channel, rebrand, and do different kind of videos and make better content for you guys. That would be awesome if you could help me help you. So I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.